Cook for Canton's Morning News.
Your show keeps me going. I mean, it's like the sun coming up for me.
Gotta say, love your show. You fire me up every morning.
You have been a big part of my morning for a long time, so.
Oh my gosh, you bring a breath of fresh air, so thank you.
Love your show. You converted me from another show to yours. I'm just absolutely happy every morning.
Canton's Morning News with Pam Cook. Don't miss a minute.
Join Pam Cook for Canton's Morning News.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight on Stark County with Pam Cook and Gary Rivers.
Welcome once again to our Wednesday morning edition of Spotlight on News Talk 1480 WHBC. If you are at home or wherever you're at, we always love it that when we have our guests in studio, we go live on Facebook, so you get a chance to see not only me and or normally Pam, but also our guest this morning, Dominic Fonte, a real estate agent, Cutler Real Estate, and Dominic Fonte and Associates. My goodness. It's always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thanks for having me on, Gary.
I love talking real estate. I love talking about that whole industry. It's fascinating to me, and how it seems to ebb and flow. And you guys are just in the middle of it every day, just selling and buying and negotiating, and good stuff.
Yeah, the market is interesting. If you've been paying close attention, we shifted a few years ago from buyer's market, with 11% inventory. That was probably I'd say in 8 is when the market hit really the skids, 9, 10, 11. But the last year and a half, the inventories have waned, and we really have what's called a seller's market. So the prices are on the rise. The rates are also on the rise, which is creating that sense of urgency. And it actually is, I call it like a full moon effect. It's like full moon every day for the buyers, the sellers, and everybody, just because the stress levels are much higher.
And it pushes it, and then all of a sudden you've got some great things. But I noticed looking at the real estate, I saw a bunch of houses for sale, and I go, wow, they've been on the market for more than 2 days. Must be changing.
Well, obviously there's the ebb and flow of the seasons, like January, February, March, the momentum picks up, April, May, and June. And of course, usually July, people take vacations before the kids go off to school. And then when school starts, there's a little distraction for a little window of time, maybe 2-3 weeks, and then it picks up again. And then it's hit and miss the rest of the year. Then typically between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, it's a little bit quieter. But there's still people that have to move and relocate. So, of course, that doesn't interfere with their plans.
Right.
Just our plans.
It might interfere with yours. I thought I was having Thanksgiving dinner at my home, but I'm apparently with a couple of clients.
Right.
Does that happen?
It does happen. And, I remember one Thanksgiving about 2 years ago. I'm sitting in the room, getting ready to eat dinner, and I'm negotiating a contract. So my wife's like, where's Dom? So I snuck in the other room, and I'm negotiating the contract because, it's like when someone's trying to buy or sell, I'm not a heart surgeon or anything, but what happens is to them, it's very critical.
It's the most important thing in the world to them at that moment, sure.
It's one of the biggest things they'll probably do.
Right.
So it was a little stressful, but I accomplished the goal, and of course the customer was very satisfied with the service.
Well, boy, and speaking of satisfaction, I'm talking with Dominic Fonte, by the way, from Dominic Fonte and Associates. So I was at his website earlier this morning before he showed up, and I went up there, and I go, oh, look, I wonder if people are reviewing him. And I saw 5-star, 180 reviews, 180 5-stars. I'm like, Dom, how is that possible? That's all about service, isn't it?
It is. It's managing the expectations, emotions, and finance. So the two main things that affect real estate, generally speaking, unless you're an investor or relocating or something like that. But typically, emotions drive the decision. And a lot of times, when you're feeling anxiety, it can be a frustrating experience if it's not managed properly. So over the years of doing this, I've been doing it 30 years, helped over 1,800 families go through this experience. So we have it down pretty good. But again, it's not a robotic experience. It's still, people have feelings and experiences and fears. So what we've done is we put a system together over the course of time to help the buyers and the sellers. And they're different because there's different, faculties to that we have to deal with. but it systemizes it in a way, and then we communicate to them based on where they are. So if they're, someone that wants a phone call, some people like to text, some people like emails, some people like face-to-face. So I think when you deal with a customer, you have to figure out what it is that makes them feel the most comfortable. And then you also have to be knowledgeable and experienced to be able to navigate them through that. It's sort of like a roadmap for them.
You can sell homes through texting? I'm kind of curious.
Well, what it is it's more like the biggest issue is, I think, like right now, looking at the buyers. 50% of the buyers are millennials, probably
Right.
34 years old. And so they're, stressed out. They really don't know a lot of times the whole procedure.
Right.
So you sort of walk them through it. You hold their hand, you reassure them, and you negotiate the best arrangement. But the problem is now, without the inventory, it's like every offer, there's 3 or 4 offers they're competing
Right.
against. So emotionally, it wears you down. So you have to be really savvy in order to be the winning bid.
And you become really their advocate on the bidding at this point, right?
Oh,
And you work with them and
absolutely.
say, all right, I tell you what. And you also give advice of that might be a little too low. You're not going to, do you have to have those conversations?
You do, because what the big issue I think is today is it's a big decision, and it's not like you do it every day. If you think about it, the majority of people, between the time they buy their first home and their final home, it might be 3 to 4 homes in their whole life. So that's all their experience set is. So as the navigator or the GPS or the roadmap agent, they have to walk them through the procedures and processes, and they shift based on supply and demand. So like right now, I always tease and I say, look, if you want to sleep on this, you surely won't sleep in it, because you have to move at lightning speed. Well, how do you buy a home, the biggest investment in your life, at lightning speed?
At lightning speed.
Because what happens if you do that? Well, 2 a.m, you wake up and you have anxiety, and you're thinking, oh my God, what did I just do?
Yeah.
What if the neighbors? What if this furnace goes out? What if the roof leaks? So we have a strict procedure on how we do it, so that once you make that decision, and it's hard to do that quick, it's very important to be well prepared and educated, so you make that informed
So you're
decision.
crossing every T and dotting every I. I mean, back in old school, you would call it that, right? Making sure as you walk through that process, they feel very comfortable.
Well, obviously it's not like you do it every day, as a common person. So yes, I think the agent's job is to make sure that based on their personality type, based on their experience set, how do you in fact guide them through that process peacefully? Because the thing is your anxiety, you surely don't want to wake up at 2 a.m. and think, oh my goodness, what did I just do?
Right.
So that's basically what's happening.
All right. Well, it is 14 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to ask Dominic how he got into real estate, and more information on maybe why you need to call him if you're looking at buying or selling a home. We'll be back in just a moment.
Are you tired of your bank? Experience the credit union difference at DN Community Federal Credit Union. We offer the same products and services as a bank with a few major differences. When you join a credit union, you become an owner of the credit union. Credit unions are not-for-profit, which means we have lower loan rates, higher savings rates, and fewer fees. At DN Community Federal Credit Union, we have many ways to manage your money online or from your phone with our mobile app. Or visit us at our new location on Fulton Drive in Canton, across from St. Michael's Church.
Do you have a job? Do you have $99? Do you want a new car? Then get to Wacom Kia today. With a job and $99, get up to $30,000 in credit. 30 grand. We work with over 30 banks and local credit unions. Our goal is 100% credit approval. Call 1-800-NEW-RIDE or go to WacomKia.com and get pre-approved with no hard credit pull and no social security number required. That's right. No hard credit pull and no social security number. Do you have a job? Do you have $99? Do you want a new car? Then get to Wacom. Wacom Kia. With a job and $99. Get up to $30,000 in credit. 30 grand. Visit Wacom Kia on the Wacom Auto Mile or call 800-NEW-RIDE and online at WacomKia.com. That's WacomKia.com. To qualified buyers.
Head on out to the Canton Farmers Market every Saturday from 8 to 11:30 a.m., rain or shine, for the area's freshest local produce, baked goods, meats, cheeses, flowers, local art, and so much more. You can find the Canton Farmers Market on the corner of 4th Street Northwest and McKinley Avenue Northwest in downtown Canton. Each week, there's something new, from children's art classes, gardening tips, to entertainment and more. Visit CantonFarmersMarket.com for all the current events. See you at the market.
Now back to Spotlight with Pam and Gary.
9:17. Good morning. I'm Gary Rivers on our Spotlight with Dominic Fonte and Associates here. We are live on Facebook as well, if you'd like to follow along with that. Hey, also, I don't know, man. He's open for it. If you have a question on buying or selling, oh, yeah, I'll take the call. I'll just take it live.
Live is good.
Yeah. Dom wanted to have questions. I said, okay, but I've got so many. I don't know if we'll be able to get to any, but
that's
hey,
okay.
Why not if they want to? My question to you is, though, let's get back and go, how did you get started?
Oh, that's a good one. So anyhow, I grew up in Canton. I was very anxious to start working, making a living.
Yeah.
So I missed the college route. And in high school, I got a job at a grocery store, retail grocery. So I worked there for about 8 years. And when I got into my early 20s, I started realizing that without some specialization, I wasn't going to be able to support my family. And so what happens is when things start hurting, when pain starts feeling stronger and stronger, sometimes it forces you to make a decision. So there was a point in my life where I was saying, man, $7 an hour is not going to support my family. So I was looking around at what I could do quickly to get certified and to do something. And I always liked real estate, and I always liked working with people. And someone told me that if you got into real estate and you weren't afraid to work hard, the income potential is unlimited, because it's based on what you can do and what you can learn.
Yeah.
So for me, I ended up working in the grocery store and a gift shop at the same time. And this was when the economy was a little rougher. Yeah. So I was scraping to try to earn a decent living, which was okay at the time, I guess. So anyhow, I went to real estate school, went to Malone, took my classes, got licensed. And so now I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So I was working at my job. I had my license, had no experience. So finally, I was so frustrated with this dead-end job that I left my job on a Friday, went to the real estate office on Monday, went into the office at 8:30 in the morning, and there's no one in the office but the secretaries. And they looked at me and said, Dom, what are you doing here? You're going to be late for your job. And I said, I got great news. And I had a big smile on my face. I said, I quit my job. I'm going to be a full-time realtor. They looked at me and said, you what? And right then I thought I was going to throw up.
Oh, my.
I was like nauseated. So I went back in my office, sat at my cubicle, just trembling all day thinking, what the heck did I just do?
Right.
Because I really didn't think it through, I think, to understand what is involved. How am I going to do it? How am I going to support my family? Well, anyhow, so I'm sitting there in the office, and then, I don't know, maybe 10:30, some of the agents came in and said, oh, hey, congratulations. I heard you're going to be a full-time realtor. Then the broker comes in, congratulations, you're going to be good. And she goes, well, what have you been doing since you've been here? And I said, well, just sitting here thinking about what I'm going to do. So she goes to me, open that drawer. And I opened the drawer, and there's a phone book. She goes, pull the phone book out. And I said, okay, here it is. She goes, open it up. Put your finger right here, the A's.
Yeah.
And I go, what do you want me to do? She goes, just start calling people.
Start calling people.
And you want to know how horrifying that was?
Oh, my God.
She says, just start calling and just say, hey, my name's Dominic Fonte. Do you know if you'd be interested in selling or buying real estate? Now, you can imagine how that went over. Hang up, hang up, hang up. Why are you bugging me?
Right.
So then I started knocking on doors. So basically the first few weeks or so, it didn't go so well. And then about into the first month, no sales, no money, struggling. I'm thinking to myself, if I don't start figuring this out pretty quick. Yeah. And now remember, this was back in the 80s. So this was right when we were thinking about getting a fax machine. So we didn't have any technology like we do today. So I bought a map, loaded up my car with those little plastic bags and a bunch of free stuff, and started knocking on doors. Now, that was very painful, too, because at first not many people answered the door, so it was easy to hang stuff on their door.
Right.
But I soon realized if I don't talk to people face-to-face, there's never going to be a chance for them to know who I am. So about another month went by, and I said, you know what? This is not working. And so I remember it was so hard to get out of bed. I had to get up, dress, put my shoes on, and go beat the pavement. And I was just thinking to myself, I think I made a mistake. So this is in '88. So anyhow, I I said, okay, I'm going to go by Lake Cable. I'm going to hit all the properties on the water. So I started knocking on the door in April, and I didn't have much luck. Well, then I finally run into a mailman, and I asked the mailman, I said, this is probably a weird request, but I said, have you been doing the route here long? And he goes, oh, yeah, 20-some years, son. And I go, may I ask you, do you know of anybody in the neighborhood that might be thinking of selling? So he goes, well, don't say I said this, but yeah, this person.
And he knew this, and he knew it all.
So that's how it all turned for me. But after a period of time, I had to learn the hard way.
Right.
But then fast forward 30 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
But, it was pretty rough. But again, we've helped over 1,800 families, and there was a lot of pain and suffering to get to that goal.
Right.
And to learn all the lessons that had to be learned. So for me, I'm very blessed. And now it evolved into, I have 5 children. I have some grandchildren. We have 2 in college. So things have been pretty solid.
So now you have all the kids going through the phone book for you, right?
Right. But there's no phone book now. It's Google.
I know.
It's Google and
right.
YouTube.
It's all completely changed.
The whole game has changed.
Right. Well, and real estate. Folks, you even have the search on your website for people to go looking for homes because that's where everything's at, right?
Absolutely. So there's many search engines. So when you're a buyer or you're thinking of buying, of course, you might go to Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, or, your favorite site. They call that IDX transfer, which is we share all the listings so that the public have full access. The only issue that we run into a lot is Zillow and Trulia are owned by the same company. They're basically a third-party aggregate, so they aggregate information from realtors.
Are they always behind?
They're not only behind, but they're not accurate. 40% of the time, they're inaccurate. So many times, if you have a search, and let's say you see a house for sale, you call your realtor and you say, hey, I see this new house that came up, and the agent looks and says, well, it's not available. And it's already contingent or pending, which means it has a contract.
So Zillow might not even have that information.
But it's an easy site to navigate. A lot of people like using it. But if you really want to be keyed in, you really have to work with your agent and go through what's called the multiple listing service. They call it MLS for short. That basically ties you to the up-to-minute, up-to-the-second data and information with all the real estate agents into one area.
Got it.
Before it gets pushed out to the other sites.
All right. So what do you recommend for someone who's interested in, let's say, let's go with the buyer at this point, buying? Start there, talk to a real estate agent first, or do you go on to Zillow and all those things?
Well, no. I think the best thing to do is get educated first. So, you have to gather data. So I'd say a lot of the people go online now and they search and they get educated that way. But you really need to meet face-to-face with your agent. Now, every agent has a different style and experience set that they use. But the way I do it is we usually will meet them in the office and we call it a consultation. So it's a 15-step roadmap, so to speak, of the experience of doing this. And we just sort of prepare them financially, emotionally, if this is what they're really willing to do. And we explain it all to them. And then once you do that, and see if this is really what they want to do, because you have to ascertain that information first. Then the second thing is you want to make sure they're qualified. So do we have, a small down payment, a big down payment? Because perceptually, I think a lot of people think they need more money than they do to be able to purchase. So that's the educational portion. So we usually do that, then get them pre-approved, get that letter, because with the market the way it is, you have to go into guns a-blazing.
So if you're not pre-approved, you're really handicapping yourself.
Well, in this market, when you're in competition with all these people, when you bring your offer to the table, we have to make it look as good as we can and show them that we have our ducks in a row.
Got it.
That's the bottom line. If you even want a shot at it. And a lot of times I think, when you're a buyer, you don't really understand all the nuances of it. And that's why you really need to have a consultation to kind of understand what's involved.
All right. Well, before we take a break, then why don't we start with that? All right. You've got somebody salivating saying how I want to do it. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to Dominic at DominicFonte.com, or you can Google me at Dominic Fonte, and you can find me that way. Or you can call me on my direct line at 330-418-1535.
All right, you can do that. And operators are standing by.
Oh, yeah, if you call it, someone will answer.
Oh, I was going to say, I bet you got your cell phones here. It's going to be ringing in the studio?
No, it's forwarded to my assistant.
All right, 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, we'll be back more with Spotlight and Dominic Fonte when we come back.
Hey there, I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more, like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick. Miss Lydia!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 1-800-993-2480. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-993-2480. That's 800-993-2480.
Did you ever do something beyond the ordinary? Like swing from the chandeliers, bounce from bed to bed, or soar through a summer sky? Did you fall in love with the one? Or was there more than one? Come, get carried away with life at Corteo by Cirque du Soleil, an extravagant spectacle featuring astonishing acrobatics. Join us in Cleveland at the Quicken Loans Arena, November 15th to 18th. Corteo thanks their partner, Sirius. Tickets at CirqueDuSoleil.com.
It's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales Event. The last chance to find an incredible deal on the cars, trucks, and SUVs that make summer go right. Simply stop by a local Ford dealer or shop online at buyfordnow.com. Because the time to get behind the wheel of a new Ford during the Ford Summer Sales Event ends soon. And so do these amazing offers. This is gonna be the best day of my life. The Ford Summer Sales Event is in its final days. That means it's the last chance to make summer go right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Stop by your local Ford dealer and find great offers on many Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. With leading driver assist technologies, it's easy to see why Ford is the brand more drivers buy and buy again. Look for yourself. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event ends September 4th, 2018. To find out more, head to buyfordnow.com or stop by your local Ford dealer. Best-selling claim based on 2017 calendar year sales.
Tune in each Saturday at 7:35 a.m. for the Money Matters radio show. Hosts Bob Foudy and David Ryan help you make your money matter. Learn how today's economy, debt levels, and policies affect your hard-earned money. You worked hard for your money. Now it's time to watch it grow. Tune in to the Money Matters radio show every Saturday morning at 7:35 a.m. to learn how to make your money matter. To speak with Bob Foudy or Dave Ryan about your money matters, call New Horizon Financial Group in Canton at 330-499-1915.
Listen to Health Matters with the Medicine Center Pharmacy this Friday at 9 a.m. with pharmacists Paul White and Brad White. Every Friday we bring you medical guests and focus on health-related topics that answer your questions. Now you can also listen to the Health Matters podcast on WHBC.com. You can find it on the website under the Health Matters show.
This is WHBC AM Canton. News Talk 1480 WHBC.
From the News Talk 1480 WHBC newsroom, a former Canton police officer will go to jail for a month for possessing drugs. 44-year-old Jason Gogg had pleaded guilty to having anabolic steroids. He will also not be able to work as a police officer again. The discovery was made as police investigated the death of Teresa McMillan back in February. She was Gogg's girlfriend. Two friends of McMillan's were recently sentenced in connection with her death, but the officer did not face such charges. More testimony today in the involuntary manslaughter trial that comes out of a January double killing in Canton. The case against 21-year-old Ryan Geiger was presented starting yesterday. 21-year-old Justin Griffith and 25-year-old Tyrell Culver of Canton shot each other to death in the drug deal that went bad at Monument Park. Prosecutors say Geiger was at the scene and knew a robbery was planned. A 20-year-old woman is facing similar charges. U.S. Senator John McCain lying in state in Arizona today. Tomorrow afternoon, there will be a memorial service at the North Phoenix Baptist Church celebrating his life and legacy. Then on Friday, a formal ceremony will take place in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda to honor his life. On Saturday, a national memorial service will take place at Washington National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. Senator McCain's family, friends, congressional colleagues, and staff, as well as U.S. and international leaders, will attend. More news coming up at 10 o'clock. I'm Pam Cook.
Hall of Fame City weather.
Here's your AccuWeather.com forecast. A front is going to be coming in, providing some strong thunderstorms in the afternoon hours today. Ahead of that, it's going to be a breezy, hot, humid day with a high of 90, but it'll feel closer to 100. And when these storms come through later in the afternoon, they can have hail and damaging wind gusts. And then the thunder shower will linger overnight with a low of 66. Shower tomorrow morning, then not as warm during the day. Nice with some sunshine and a high of 78. Another nice day Friday. I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
10-5, touchdown! Yikes. They're like a comfortable pair of jeans. Okay, maybe not, but they're good.
Got something going on here. Love it. Nothing fancy. What did you like the most from your team in this first half?
Fun to listen to.
I'll be here all week. Tip the waitresses. Enjoy the meatloaf dinner, people.
These guys, what a team. The Shearers Snacks Radio Game of the Week.
Friday night, the Glen Oak Golden Eagles host the Massillon Tigers. Join us for the All Care Stadium show at 6, kickoff at 7.
Thanks for locking us in here.
On 1480 WHBC Sports.
Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head? Comb it over? Wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out today because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone who texts GROW to 85850. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part, Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let them show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Text GROW to 85850. Ask about the Bosley Guarantee, GROW to 85850.
Tired of lugging salt bags to the basement? Have Verndale's Water Center deliver and fill your salt tank for you.
Tap into Verndale's Water Center. Tap into Verndale's Water Center.
Live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight on Stark County with Pam Cook and Gary Rivers.
Welcome back to the second half of our Wednesday morning edition of Spotlight with Dominic Fonte. All right, I got a question, and we haven't, I haven't pre-asked you this, but I want to sell my home. What do I do to get my home ready so that I'm going to make the most money? Because really, when you sell your home, that's really what you want, right?
I think so.
It's kind of like, I know it's worth, say, 120, but I want 150. Can you get me that? And how do we go about doing that?
Well, if someone comes in from California, they might buy two.
Okay.
But no, honestly, there's three things that affect the value of real estate when you're trying to sell it. But you got to also remember how people search today. They use 97% search online.
Right.
They're looking at Pinterest. They're looking at a house. They're looking at HGTV. And then there's the traditional people like open houses and things like that. So in general, the three things are location, condition, and price, where in the old days we would say location, location, location. But a lot of times the buyers really want a turnkey house. So you say to yourself, well, when we bought it, we did our own updates, so why can't they just do their own updates?
Right.
So you lose money. So I put a system together, and for example, we use professional photographer because we know online it looks good online with professional photography. And so
you're right, because that's everything to them. They're looking at it and go, wow. Because I can't tell you, looking at some of those, you're going, why would somebody put in a picture of a half-baked, half-done basement? They still have junk in the corner. But they do.
That's right. And believe it or not, people will rule that right out. So when they're looking online, they narrow it down online before they waste their time driving by. Whereas in the older days, we would drive around neighborhoods and look at open houses, look in the paper. Well, those days are gone. And so you have to key in properly. So we have a list of things for prior to photography. And it's basically a honey-do list and a tip sheet to help you through the process and preparation. So the two things as a seller you control, even though you've been in the neighbor's house and you think yours is way nicer and they're asking this, we should be able to ask a bunch more. The reality is that the market is the market. So at any given time, it's not what's happening in California, it's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Right.
So real estate is local. Once you figure out the local evaluation, how do you maximize it? Well, you have to prepare the house properly. First impression's key. And then also price it correctly. The location's a given. So the two things as a seller you control is the price and the condition. So I give you tips and sheets, and we also have stagers, and we have other people that can help you if it's not in your comfort zone to be able to do it.
You have books for some reason that you've put together. Tell me what that is for.
Okay, so the fall edition's coming out in September, and we have 3 books actually.
Okay.
The one book would be helping the buyer, current data, information to give you a lot of information to make an informed decision as a potential buyer of what the market's doing. And then number 2, we have a seller one coming out in September that's about a 20-page book. It probably could be sent to you as a download as well if you'd like to reach out to me when it's available. But for the sellers, it gives you tips.
All those tips that you're kind of talking about.
I mean, it's very detailed. And then we have, we put it on steroids, so we have it actually a lot better. And then, of course, if you're a millennial, which happens to be about 50% of the buying market, a lot of times, as a buyer, you think, well, I got a student loan, I can't afford this, I don't have enough down payment. So it's really just informing you and educating you so that you can make that smart decision. And like I said, probably if you're serious about getting into real estate buying or selling, sooner is better because of the way the shift in the market is. So that's basically what I'd recommend.
All right. Something else I noticed when I was at your website, I had kind of jokingly asked about those reviews, but people love reviews because they get a chance to see what people have said about you in the past. Is there, I've gone through reviews, even buying computers.
Right.
I think about that in real estate going, I wonder what they're saying about this Dominic guy. And I saw this one, so I'm going to ask you about it. Dominic and his team were fantastic. They got me 15% more than another realtor told me. Okay, right there. All right, see, that's the kind of thing that people go, their eyes light up. So I was going to get my house, and my home was it was only on the market for 2 days. And then he said, Dominic told me everything I needed to do to my house and was honest and had tons of integrity. Anyways, if I ever move again, he'll be my one and only call to list future homes. That's a pretty powerful statement.
Well, the joke I always say is my mom could only write so many.
Yeah, okay.
But you could see these are real. I mean, people put their name, so his name's there. But anyhow, this was an interesting story. This guy, he used to buy homes, fix them up, and sell them when the market was not so good.
Okay.
When there was lots of inventory. So he knew what he was doing. He was very savvy. And he had a 2, 4, and a 6-year-old, but he was busy and he had another job, and he just really wanted to get his house on the market. He had his house, future house picked out for his family, but he needed to sell his home in order to close on his new home.
Got it.
So he was stressed about it. And so his buddy said, you should call Dominic. He's awesome. He'll get it done. And the guy said to me, he called me on Tuesday, and he goes, look, my buddy said call you, but we already are putting our house on the market Friday with our other realtor that sold our other homes, and he's going to do it for 5% commission. And he goes, and I really don't want to do anything. I just want to sell it as is and move on. And I said, okay. And so I went over and looked at his house. I did give him a little honey-do list like I always do. And I said, it would behoove you to do these things because I'm going to net you more money. Now, he asked me, he goes, well, what's your fee? And I said, 6% is what we charge. I know it's a lot of money, but the other one would charge it 5. He wanted me to do it for 5. And I said, no, I can't do that because I've been doing this a while and I know what I'm doing and I'm going to help leverage your situation. Well, he didn't really believe that, but he did take a chance with me. So he delayed the process for 1 week while I did the final prep. We put it on the market. I told him what I felt we would get. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, but it's just a projection based on the local data, market data, because remember, the market's local.
Sure.
And so I made my recommendation, and what happened was in 2 days we sold it, and we got him $15,000 more
than what he had been told that he was going to get
So
for it.
the moral to the story is that many times when people call, they don't sell their homes a lot, and they're really worried about the cost because the real estate is a bigger portion of the net proceeds for the seller. And so, a lot of times 1% means something to them, and I get that. But here's what my information was to this fella. Like, I netted you $15,000 more dollars, and you paid 1%. And so now he's a believer, and he was nice enough to write those words.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, when you're out looking to sell, yeah, the commission's important. But look, experience is more important, so that you get those desired results and you net more money. Because at the end of the day, once you pull the trigger, you want to sell your home for as much as you can, as soon as you can, without a big migraine headache. That's the bottom line.
And that is the bottom line. All right. Now, on the flip side of that, if I'm the guy wanting to buy a house, are you going to work with me just as much to make sure I get the best deal?
Well, so what happened in the last year and a half, it shifted to favor the sellers, unlike it did before.
Right.
So that means that in general, the prices are up about 6% this year in the Stark County area.
Wow.
Okay. But you think, well, 6%, man, that's a lot of money. I missed the market. Maybe I should just wait until the market goes down again. Well, it's still good. If you jump in today, it's better than the future. But as a buyer, if you don't have that meeting, that consultation meeting where I go through the whole process with you, you really won't be informed to make that smart decision, because the market is moving quicker. So you have to be able to move quickly. But it's hard to do that when you're buying a big house. So what we do is we walk you through the pluses and the minuses, the details, the decisions, and prepare you properly so that when you go in, there's clever ways that we can be the winner. We make our offer look better than the competitor's offer. So at the end of the day, if you spend an extra, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000 on the house, it's not $2,000 out of your pocket per se. It's like $4.85 on your monthly payment. So when you weigh your goals, your family goals, if getting locked into a house sooner rather than later, because the market is on the rise, you'll benefit in the long run.
So it might cost you a cup of coffee a month.
Probably even less than that.
Yeah.
But because Starbucks is pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, there is that.
But the idea is that we sit you down, educate you, and then you decide if it makes sense. If it makes sense, then you roll with my team. So I have 2 buyers agents, Roman and Megan. And then I have some administrative and managers that work in my group so that we can give you that 110% service that you're hoping for. And you wouldn't really know until you go through it, right?
Right.
So that's why I really want to exceed your expectations, because at the end of the process, we want you to review us and refer us. That's how we get most of our business now.
All right, talking with Dominic Fonte this morning. And spell your name completely for everybody and give them your phone number, how they can get a hold of you.
Okay, if you want to Google me, it's Dominic Fonte, DOMINIC, Fonte, F, is it like Frank, FONTE.com, or Dominic at DominicFonte.com. And you can reach me on my cell, 330-418-1535, 330-418-1535.
Yeah, because anything you give here today, it's really just a small microcosm of what you really need to talk with them about if you sit down.
It's hard to get it all across here, but yeah, I hope you're getting the gist of it, the listeners out there.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment for our final segment on Spotlight.
WHBC.com.
I enjoy getting online just because it's fast. I can access it from my phone, or I can access it from my iPad or my computer.
Audio with our stream and podcasts anytime you desire.
I get all my news and information online. It's just easier, and I can read it on the go, on my phone, walking to classes, walking to work, anywhere.
For everything WHBC, news, weather and sports, personality blogs, and more, log on to WHBC.com. It'll begin your obsession.
She walked into the office with a well-tailored spreadsheet and a handkerchief dabbing at tears of desperation. This dame was in trouble, all right.
Please help me. I need to save the company money and make the office work more efficiently.
I wonder why she never heard of Graphic Enterprises and their managed print services team. So I asked her.
What? Who?
She doesn't have a clue. Well, clues are my job. So I explain how they will analyze the printer volume, investigate their cost of ink cartridges, and then solve the case for money savings and office efficiency.
Oh, I'm saved! Thank you, Graphic Enterprises!
Are you looking for cost-effective, time-efficient business solutions? It's no mystery. Call Graphic Enterprises or visit GEIOhio.com. A little detective work could mean big savings for you and your company.
Carpet Time's the place to buy. Go there today. You'll cheer and rave at the money you save. Buy at Carpet Time.
Hi, I'm Joel Primack. We bought big. We're jam-packed and overstocked with thousands of square feet of flooring. I'm going to sell it all at maximum deep discount prices. 0 down, 0 interest for 1 full year. Now's your chance to save big. Here at Carpet Time, we don't meet competition, we make it.
You'll cheer and rave at the money you save. Buy at Carpet Time.
Visit us at our Perry Maslin store on the corner of Lincoln Way and Genoa, or at our Belden Village store across from Red Lobster. Like us on Facebook or online at carpettime.com. One word, one T, that's carpettime.com.
Carpet Time's the place to buy. Go there today. You'll cheer and rave at the money you save. Buy at Carpet Time.
Attention guys, do you like trap shooting, food, fun, and giveaways? Then the Canton Baptist Temple 3G event is for you. The event is Saturday, September 8th. Trap shooting begins at noon, meal at 5, and fun all day. Don't miss this chance to sharpen your trap shooting skills at the annual Canton Baptist Temple Guys, Guns, and Grub 3G event. You must register before 12 noon, September 4th. So grab your buddies and register now by calling 330-477-6267. For more information, go to cantonbaptisttemple.org.
Do you have a job? Do you have $99? Do you want a new car? Then get to Wacom Kia today. With a job and $99, get up to $30,000 in credit. 30 grand. We work with over 30 banks and local credit unions. Our goal is 100% credit approval. Call 1-800-NEW-RIDE or go to WacomKia.com and get pre-approved with no hard credit pull and no social security number required. That's right, no hard credit pull and no social security number. Do you have a job? Do you have $99? Do you want a new car? Then get to Wacom. Wacom Kia. With a job and $99, get up to $30,000 in credit. 30 grand. Visit Wacom Kia on the Wacom Auto Mile or call 800-NEW-RIDE and online at WacomKia.com. That's WacomKia.com. To qualified buyers.
Oh my, back to our final edition, our final segment of Spotlight with Dominic Fonte and Dominic Fonte and Associates. And all right, Dominic, we've talked about a lot. I want to go back to that website that you have. What is that called? DomWhat'sMyHouseworth.com. You have to share that story with everybody.
Okay, so what happens is many times throughout the day, especially as the market's heating up, everybody's interested in knowing their values, and especially since the tax bills just came out. I mean, I've been getting a lot of calls from customers saying, hey, wait a minute, why is it going up so much? But anyhow, what happened is when people would say, Dom, what's my house worth? And I'd say, well, so I'm like, brainstorm. So I made a URL. So you can go to DomWhat'sMyHouseworth.com, and it's just like my, Dom, D-O-M, what'smyhouseworth.com. Plug in your address and just fill it in with your name and email. Yeah. And within 30 seconds, under a minute, you're going to get this gorgeous report. And it pulls from the multiple listing service a radius around your home. Now, it's not an exact, but it gives you a ballpark of what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Neighborhood.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, it's just more of something for you to see. Mm-hmm. It has some good tips, good information in there. Also, if you say, well, okay, maybe in 2 years I'm going to sell, or maybe my daughter's moving back from out of state. So you're trying to understand a neighborhood. So let's say you're following a neighborhood that you're thinking of maybe letting your daughter know what the prices are doing and you're watching for. That's another way you can do it to see what's selling. And how you do that is you go to DomWhat'sMyHouseworth.com, key in your information, and within a few seconds you'll get this report. It's ballpark. If you want an accurate picture of what the price valuation is, I'd have to come out, look at your house, see the condition, and then, hand pick the properties that are more apples to apples so I can give you a more accurate evaluation.
How long does this process take from the moment you get the idea to, I guess it's probably two questions, buy a house or sell a house?
It depends on your personality type. Sometimes, people will, like if you're an analytical person, you might say, you know what, I'm going to start getting information because I'm going to downsize out of my bigger home to a condo or a villa or move to Florida or Tennessee or wherever. And so you're gathering data now so that you're informed and preparing your home for down the road when you're ready. So sometimes it takes a couple years, sometimes it takes 3 months. I had one gentleman that was he was very detail oriented, so he wanted to know ahead of time. He had me out, looked at his house. He saw after we went through the information how hot the market was. He ended up getting an apartment. We sold the house in 30 days. And he was really not planning on selling it for a year, but he didn't want to miss out on the market because they were retiring and moving to Tennessee and building a home.
Wow.
So it depends on the individual.
Yeah.
And that's why the consultation is very important, because then we can figure out what your situation is.
I was going to say everybody's situation is different. You were talking about moving in and out of state. How do you handle that for a client who says, I think I want to go to Tennessee? Do you help them find the right agent down there?
We have 26 offices at Cutler Real Estate, throughout our state, Cincinnati, Kentucky, all over the place. But we also have partners in other cities and states and out of the country where we can connect you up with an agent that would match your style, what you're looking for, and not only that, the community that you want to live in that specializes in that, and then we can connect you up so that way I can't go outside of Ohio,
right?
But it'll make it a smoother transition for you, and then I can take care of your Ohio business.
So in reality, in all of this, what I'm getting from you and anybody that I've ever talked to, it really is a relationship business, isn't it? Or it should be.
Well, I mean, obviously, you were talking about reviews. The reason why reviews are so critical is, and I get calls all the time. People say, I see your name around. We're interviewing 40 agents, 3 agents, 5 agents, or whatever. And they really don't get it. They're just trying to get information.
Right.
And honestly, face-to-face is best, but you can always Google anybody that you want to interview, and you can read about them. And if they have reviews that make sense, it's like Amazon. I'm looking at buying something. Mm-hmm. There's 20 reviews, 100 reviews. I scan through it, and then I ascertain the information and process it the way I think.
Right.
And if I think it's valid, then I might have that interview or buy that product. And I believe that it's very important in today's times, trust, experience, hard work. And I'm results driven, because honestly, I work for free unless I get the desired results for my customer. And if my customer client get the desired results they want, then of course I get paid.
And you're also going to get those great reviews like we read earlier. I mean, by the way, there were 180 reviews, and I was scanning, looking, hoping to find some that had something negative to talk about you, because that's what we do when we go through. You look for the 5-star, but you're also looking for, hey,
I know,
has anybody ever done? What's the negative?
Well, what's hard about this industry is it's emotionally driven. And I find that the better the communication is, the more attentiveness there is, and the more setting the realistic expectations, the better the experience is for the customer. Because it isn't like you do this every day.
Right.
I mean, you do it like 2-3 times in your life.
2-3 times, when at the end, we've probably got listeners who are getting ready to downsize.
Right.
You work with them as well and say, all right, here's what your options are as well.
Like I would work with any buyer or seller that is sincerely needing assistance. And a lot of times, I even talk people out of selling. So a lot of times, if you have a ranch home and the tree limbs are falling and the leaves and the maintenance of the yard, I've talked several people out of selling, and we just get a service in there to manage those odds and ends, spring and summer cleanup, things like that. Yeah. Because it's still, because it costs a lot of money to sell a home, to buy a home, to pay for the mover. Not only that, but the wear and tear and stress that you're going to go through.
Right.
So it's a process, and I want to be the trusted advisor. I've been doing it an awful long time. I'm very motivated. I have a great team behind me that provides exceptional service, and that's why we try to do a great job so you'll give us a nice review.
All right, so everyone who's listening now, and we've talked for almost an hour and we're just about out of time, seriously, if you're looking to buy or you're looking to sell, or maybe it's on the horizon for you or a family member, they need to get a hold of you. What do they need to do?
You can call me on my direct line, and someone will answer. And if we don't, leave a message. I'll call you back as soon as I can get to the phone. The number you want to call is 330-418-1535. I'll say it again. It's 330-418-1535. Call anytime. Leave a voicemail. If you want to Google me, you can Google Dominic Fonte at DOMINIC FONTE. And I have videos. I have instructional videos, informative videos about the market, just about different things. So you can get educated that way too. And then if you're comfortable enough, feel free to reach out. I'm not going to bug you. If you need assistance, I'm here to help. I'm your trusted advisor. Thanks for tuning in today.
All right, Dominic, thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you in here. Always fun.
My pleasure.
And always informative. Thank you so much. Spotlight on News Talk 1480 WHBC.